2022 is just a few days away. And if your goal is to be debt-free in 2022, here are the 4 truly aggressive ways to be debt-free in the next 12 months. The first one is, well, one of the very obvious, really be aggressive on your debt payment. If it means that you have to use your savings to pay your debt, do it. What is the purpose of your savings if you are indebted up to your eyeballs? It will not make sense. If you have savings that you can take on and just pay off the debt, just do it. Be aggressive with your debt repayments. If you have to sell things that you own but don't necessarily use, if you have just live a minimalist life really and use the money to pay off your debt, then do it. If you have to downgrade your car to pay for your debt aggressively, then do it. If you have to downgrade your apartment in order for you to pay less, then do it. Even if you had to live in the basement of your parents' house in order for you to pay for your debt, then do it. Do the things that are not comfortable to you doing in order for you to get out of debt quickly. These things must be done, and you will thank yourself 2-3 years from now if you did that. Paying interest on debt is really a huge drag on your financial recovery or your financial freedom. If you want to be free financially, if you want to live life properly, then be debt free. Do not show off your clothes, the brands of your clothes, the brands of your car, the brands of your, I don't know, your shoes, whatever it is. Do not, show off eating out in fancy restaurants. This do not make any sense if you are debt laden. Just save your money. Just take your income and pay off debt as quickly as you can. If you can sell things in order for you to pay off those debts, then do it. Downgrade your lifestyle, then do it. The second one is you can negotiate interest rates on your your loan. Now there is a caveat here. Before you even think of negotiating for the interest rates of your loan or of your credit card, you must make it a point that you have got a good history with your bank when it comes to your payments, because then the bank do see you as a person worth keeping, a customer who is certainly an asset to them. And of course, when you do negotiate your interest rates, you have to start with the biggest loan that you have. That will give you the biggest benefit, as a matter of fact. Now, when you do call your bank to negotiate your rate, you have to be prepared to hear no the first time. It's a common factor. The bank will tell you no, but do not retreat, do not retrieve, do not lose your hope, do not be disappointed. You just have to trudge on and do it again. As a matter of fact, it will be more sensible if you did approach your wealth manager or your agent, the bank agent who directly deals with you. If you have that relationship, and if you don't, it will probably make sense for you to start a relationship with one person in the bank, and this person will be the person that you will talk to whenever you have inquiries and whatnot. That's what I do with my credit card. These banks would charge me automatically every year for the renewal fee, and I would talk to my bank agent and tell her that I have been charged this much. Look at my history, I'm a good customer, and with less than 10 minutes of conversation, the charge is reversed, which takes effect the following month. So you will have to create a positive relationship with your bank in order for you to truly be able to negotiate interest rates. The last 2 avenues that you can take, and it is there for you to take in order for you to get out of debt quickly, these last 2 are the more aggressive approach, I would say. The third one is to use the statute of limitations law to eliminate old debt. A statute of limitation on debt is the period of time someone has to bring a financial related offense to court. If the time has passed, that person can no longer take legal action on that offense. A statute of limitation is a law that eliminates a party's right to bring a claim forward after a specific period of time passes. Each crime has a different statute of limitation. Now, in Canada, there are various different parameters on how long is this certain number of period has passed. This is the table. You will see here if 2 to 10 years has passed for a person not paying an old debt, then the party is no longer allowed by the law to bring a claim forward. So in British Columbia, that's 2 years. In Manitoba, it's 6 years. In New Brunswick, it's 6 years. Newfoundland, it's 2 years. Nova Scotia is 6 years. Northwest Territory is 6 years. Ontario is 2 to 6 years. PEI is 6 years. Quebec is 3. Saskatchewan is 2. Yukon is 6 years. And all of Canada, federal regulation, is 6 years. Therefore, to bring this in simple words, for example, you had some credit with RBC, for example. You have a 10,000 loan with them and you haven't paid them for a long time. This number of years, for example, you live in New Brunswick, and in New Brunswick, it says that after 6 years, this is considered an old debt, and the statute of limitations law essentially, after 6 years, does not allow RBC to bring any legal claim to court against you if 6 years passes. Obviously, these are very tricky and regulated. It will require you a lawyer in order for you to truly have a grasp on what exactly are the limitations, what are the pros and the cons of a statute of limitations law. Now, I am providing this information to you so that you do know that there is this option for you. You will have to speak to an actual lawyer in order for you to truly have a deeper understanding and evaluation on what and what you cannot do with this law. In theory, really, any creditor, any bank or any financial institution have got the right to ask you for your payment. The only thing is that after so many years, as mentioned a while ago, after so many years, they are essentially forbidden by law to take a legal action against you. But they do certainly have the right to ask you for the payment, and that could be, tricky or stressful as well, unless you want to change everything, your house, your number, your email, your social media, and everything else. Then they will have to acquire an absolutely special AI kind of platform or intelligence. Probably they will have to call CIA in order to be in contact with you, but that's just a joke, really. Now, that is the availability of this statute of limitations law. Now, the fourth one, which is really, I would consider the last resort for a person to be debt-free in the next 12 months or in 2022. The last one is to file for personal bankruptcy. Now, bankruptcy is not meant to be a punishment. Bankruptcy is meant to be giving a person a fresh start. Although there is the stigma in the society or in the community that if you file for bankruptcy, then you are certainly not a good citizen or a good person. But really, there are, as I mentioned already, there are various and enormous ways and reasons that a person could go into bankruptcy. So then, if you are absolutely overwhelmed with payments and you do not have enough assets to pay for your liabilities, you are insolvent and you are not liquid, you don't have enough cash to pay for your liabilities, and then you could consider the idea of filing for personal bankruptcy. Now, personal bankruptcy, essentially, it's mitigated by law. Then certainly you will have to speak to a lawyer, a bankruptcy lawyer, to truly understand and have a grasp of the pros and the cons of what entails person to be eligible to apply for personal bankruptcy. There are pros and cons with this. Of course, it will take time, effort, and money. You will have to pay a lawyer. You will have to prove that you do not have the means and the assets to pay for your overwhelming debt. And of course, it can take a hit on your credit score. So those are just some of the cons or the disadvantages of filing for bankruptcy. But of course, there are also the advantages. The first one is it will eliminate your debt. The second one is it is legal and your creditors will not be allowed to come after you. You are free, essentially, legally, personally, with your soul, with your whole well-being. You are free of debt. And if you are free of debt, I would say that you are more free with your thinking, with your life, and everything else in between falls into place. You become less stressed with the kind of life that you live. And when you did get out of debt, you have to be smarter the second time around. You have to be smarter with your money, with your assets, with your liabilities, or taking on liabilities. Be smarter, and hopefully you do not file any more bankruptcy in the future. I'm not even sure if you can still file bankruptcy the second time around, unless your surname is Trump. You can file for multiple bankruptcies and still be the president of America. Then that would be a different scenario altogether. But really, for regular people, yeah, if you get out of debt, and then be smarter the second time around and live life happily without any more debt as much as possible, really. But there are kinds of debt that is normal, at least to some people, like the mortgage. This is normal to some people. Vehicle, this is normal to some people. In the society that we live in right now, these two things are quite normal. I would say that if you had to, then do it, and only if it's necessary. So those are the 4 truly quite aggressive ways for you to get out of debt in the next 12 months. If your goal is to get out of debt in the next 12 months, then do it. Make it happen. Just make it happen. If that's your goal, make it happen. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. I hope you gained value in this video. If you did, please share, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next video.